What's up, Simply Fat Fam?
So this video is going to be sort of quiet a little bit. Like, we're trying to speak a little bit lower because AJ's taking a nap right now. So we're going to do a video that is kind of different than our most videos, but we have touched on this topic before, and it is about narcissistic people, manipulative people, or multiple personality disorder. Kind of, in my experience, kind of fall all together in the same category. So we're going to be talking about that.
I think it's the category of just mental health in general.
Right, yes,
It's just touching up on the topic of mental health, especially nowadays with what's going on in this world. A lot of people are going through a lot of mental health issues, and we just want to be the light. We want to show people, we don't know it all, but, we want to have fun on this channel, but at the same time, we want to educate y'all too, So this is why we throw videos like this on this channel, is because we want y'all to get some knowledge and just be aware of the different personalities and the different people that y'all, interact with.
Yeah, so like Deontay mentioned, we're not experts, so, mini disclaimer, we're not experts in this at all. We're not, we don't have a degree or anything, but we do have experience. Okay, I have made videos about this stuff before because, I come from, a background where I experienced a lot of these different things. And when I got older, I had to learn about them. I had to actually, do years of research into these different psychological characteristics of people. And a lot of times, these are people we get into relationships with. A lot of times these are people we end up having kids with, and a lot of times these are people that we go through breakups or divorce or whatever, all these kinds of things. So wherever you find yourself at right now, we want to give you some advice on basically how to win this battle and how to fight this. You don't have to do this alone. It's already hard as it is. So people out there need videos like this. So if you have a friend or if you know anybody who is struggling with these types of personality things, definitely send them this video because we're going to be giving out a lot of good tips. And enough said, let's get started. Okay, so the first one is the manipulator or the abuser. They always want to be in charge. They want to be in charge of the situation and of you, specifically you, because that is what feeds into what they need. They're going to use you. They're going to use how you think about yourself, how people around you think about you. It's a lot of ways that this can happen. So we're going to kind of break it down how you can win and some tools for you. In this case, you can't give them the power. So no matter who this person is, you can't give them the power. So it's going to be your choice, okay? So remember that. Don't give them the power. Yeah. Don't let them be in charge of you. They can feel however they feel about you. They could be so upset at you and hate you and want to throw a fit, right? But it's still up to you if you're going to believe those things and if you're going to, be upset, hurt, cry about it, whatever you do,
Yeah, and then I think, me touching up on that topic is my background. I didn't really come from narcissists, so I didn't really experience control or, manipulation, because I think especially that's the worst scenario is when a kid is dealing with narcissistic parents, because a kid doesn't understand, at that time. And then, there's some kids that grow up, people I talk to, they're like, yeah, man, my parents, they wasn't so good parents, now that I'm finally older, I realize, their thinking, I realize why they do things the way they do, but in the moment, when you're a kid, it destroys you for when you're becoming an adult, because, kids that are told, you're not good enough, you're not to the standard I want you to be, you're not representing yourself to the world the way I want you to represent yourself to the world, and that's a lot of things. Parents use this to their advantage with kids, instead of just letting the kid grow up and become what the kid wants to be. They want to look at them and say, okay, well, if you don't reach up to this standard, then you're not a part of our posse.
Yeah,
right. you basically get disowned, and this is how narcissistic people work. Instead of saying I support you, you know, maybe I disagree with what you're doing, but I support you 100% because you're my son, you know, and you have your own life to live, you know. So, you know, it's like people just need to, like you were saying, people just need to really be aware of, you know, are you going to give them a power or you're not going to give them a power? You know, you need to prove them wrong. Everything that they're saying about you, prove them wrong, you know, but let them talk, let them yap, you know, they're going to tell family members, they're going to tell friends, you know, whatever you're doing that's wrong, you know, it's really going to stick with them and it's going to bother them, especially if you're their kid, you know. It's going to bother them, but it's like, yo, live your life and let them deal with the situations that they got going on in their mind about you. And just like let it go because it's a very toxic thing, you know. It's a very toxic, you know, cycle that people go through with people. You know, sometimes you think it's over, then it hits you, comes back and hits you again. You know, and it's really, you know, it can be a really toxic thing. So
Yeah. So a good quote that you know you can remember, and I like to remember, is you don't rely on other people to define who you are. So, when you're in an abusive situation, you might feel low self-esteem. You might feel very doubtful of yourself and like questioning everything about yourself. So you have to understand that you know who you are. At the end of the day, no matter what judgment anybody has, it doesn't matter because you don't rely on them to define who you are. That's the biggest thing. Biggest thing to remember is you don't want to rely on your abuser to define who you are because that's the worst foundation ever for your, you know, self-esteem, for your confidence, and all that sort of stuff. So that's one great tip. So one of the things that, you know, like Deontay was bringing up is that they have other people controlled. So they're not going to be the only ones, you know, because they're so focused on you. They're not going to be the only ones saying bad things about you or making you feel a certain way. They're also going to make other people feel, you know, different about you.
Exactly.
And that's another thing that feeds them. It makes them feel better too, is having people to agree with them. Because you can't let that control you because you don't rely on other people. You know, one of the flaws I used to have is I realized at one point that I was like a people pleaser. And I learned that it really comes from, you know, what Deontay was saying, when your parents try to expect certain things from you and then all the time, like, kind of like require you to do things and become, you know, who they hope you become. All of that kind of teaches the child to become a people pleaser. And so when they grow older and get into relationships, they try to please their partner and kind of forget about themselves. They don't really put themselves first. So that is how you can become a people pleaser. To our point that we're making, they'll have other people controlled. Whenever they'll have other people controlled, it'll like hurt you so much. Like, oh my gosh, these people are thinking all these bad things about me. Like, trust me, I know what I'm saying. I've been through this. I didn't want anybody else to think bad things about me. Like, I was like, but I'm good, and I need to prove myself. Like, you know what I mean?
It just doesn't feel good. You know, and
like, I'm like, I promise, I can prove it. I can prove it.
And you wanna approve, you know, approval from other people.
And
but
it'll be a cycle.
Exactly, it'll be a cycle. But the narcissist can only control the weak-minded people because there is a lot of people that believe whatever is out there or whatever is being said instead of going to the source. Like, someone can talk, like, she could talk bad about somebody right now to me, and I can't really believe it if I didn't see it for myself. So this is what people do. They twist and they can throw things out there and people will just randomly believe them. Or maybe, you know, they'll believe them, but the only reason why they believe them is because they don't even like you. You know, so it's like, oh yeah, let's gang up, let's team up. So this can happen with friends, this can happen with family, you know, this can happen, relationships, you know, it's really, you know, you just got to be aware, you know, and understand the working of the other person's mind to see, like, really what is going on, what are they doing, because the truth always comes to the light. I don't care how much people want to try to hide, the truth will always come to the light. So, you know, just watch it. When you see that someone's narcissist and they're attacking you and they want everybody else to look at you in some type of way, in some type of light, you cannot let that control you. Just keep moving forward, keep doing you.
So, another way that you can win is to always think back to everyone can think whatever they want. You know,
everybody has a mind that you can think.
Once you just accept that and come to terms with everyone can think however they want, have whatever opinion they want, you just let it be. Let everyone have their opinion. Like, I literally remember, a time where, somebody once came to me and said, oh, well, so-and-so, said something, and so-and-so kind of feels the same way. When they say things like that, it's like so funny that they don't realize that they're telling you that they've been talking about you to someone else, So it's like they're already giving it out that they are some way or form bothered about you, that they're over there talking about you. So that's what I'm saying. It's like all of this stuff, like, they'll give it to you. People will show true colors, and you will see for yourself what's worth giving your attention to or not. And so that's what I came to terms with is, there's that group of people right there who's talking bad about me, but oh well. How can that change my life?
Yeah.
It can't. I'm just gonna let them think however they want. If that's where they want to put their energy and attention, that's their choice.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm going to be doing better things.
Yeah, the ultimate goal is they just want to affect you and get underneath your skin and stop your momentum, especially if you have momentum. Because what they will do is they will try something, and if that doesn't get you, then they'll try something else. And if that doesn't get you, it'll get more intense, to the point to where once they realize that they can't do it to you, they'll just move on to the next person. But they'll always still be there waiting for you to come back and for them to tell you how, like, they're right and you're wrong. They'll be like, I told you I was right, now look what you did. Now look at your life. Now look at your situation. I told you, instead of trying to find a solution to say, like, do you need help with anything?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you need my support? It's bash, put down, and they will never get enough because that's what they fuel off of. It's a sad thing, but that's just how some people, they fuel off of negativity and bringing other people down to make themselves feel better. So the next thing we want to touch up on is they will call you names. They'll try to insult you. This is a big one.
One of the things, that will help you in this situation is this quote that I also love so much. It is, what others think about you or say about you have a lot more to say about them than you. So when you're getting insults and name calling, you can't let that. You have to basically, like, in a situation with dealing with this kind of person, you have to learn and train. That's why, like, through these videos, they're very helpful, because you're learning to build boundaries and let things bounce off of you. So they're not really, like, the problem. You're more trying to adapt yourself, to this situation. So it's like every time you get hurt or you accept something, that's actually a problem with you.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to take responsibility, like, for how they feel ultimately at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And if you see something negative or a negative person, just kill them with kindness, Show them. Because once you're aware, once your mind, like, you don't even got to put it out there to the physical world. But once your mind is aware, like, okay, they trying to put me down. Okay, they trying to manipulate something.
Yeah.
Okay, they trying to control. Like, because, your intuition, everybody as a human being has their own intuition. So when something's wrong and when something's good, So when a person shows you who they are, believe them, because it's in plain sight. That's right there, And you got to just bring it to the light. I think the biggest thing is just being truthful. Bring it to the light. If you see something, talk to them. Let them know how you feel. And if you see that they get defensive, then that, they're narcissists, instead of trying to understand you. There's no getting through, and they're right and you're wrong at all times. It's just how it goes. So once you catch yourself always picking up the phone, trying to revive this relationship with this person, and you see that it's getting you nowhere every time, and then you just getting let down every time. They already showed you who they are. They're not going to change. So just understand that you have to readjust now your relationship. If you want a relationship with this person, you have to know what they're going to come with, and you got to know how to know yourself enough, because once you know yourself enough, then you understand that, okay, you can be that way, or whatever the case may be. Let them just go on and say whatever they want about you, and you just keep a smile on your face, because positivity is what's going to take you to where you want to go. If you allow this stuff to bring you down and let you down, then that's what they want, and that's what's going to happen, and then your life is not going to move forward.
So one of the evil things these people will do is make you feel like you can't be accepted. Like
Yeah.
you're not like them or their group or their type of people that are whatever,
Yep.
right? So one of the ways to win in this situation is to understand, once again, back to you, you don't want to build your self-esteem on their acceptance, okay?
Yeah.
So in order for you to do this, you have to build it somewhere. There's foundation got to be somewhere. Because
Yeah.
if there's no foundation, then you're going to fall for all these traps and you're going to be the victim.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be the victim of these people, you have to have the self-esteem built somewhere. And it's got to start, boosting yourself for you to be in control of yourself. Thank you so much for watching this video. We tried to put everything together as quickly as possible for you guys because we know how much this is important. And we really wanted you guys to have these tips. So make sure you have them under your belt every time you need them because,
just be aware. Yeah, just really be aware, and just know when you know yourself, you're good.
Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up because that really helps our channel for more people to discover this video. And subscribe if you're new here and click the bell notifications so you're notified when we release new videos. And we'll see you in our next one.